But cast your mind back, if you can, to 2012. Two friends decide to walk out onto stage for the auditions of Britain's Got Talent. They were Jonathan and Charlotte. They looked like an unlikely pairing, but the music they performed was just amazing. Now, since then, they've gone solo. Jonathan Antoine has gone solo, and such a fantastic young opera singer. And we caught up with him. Jonathan, it is such a pleasure to catch up with you on the show. I remember you were described as the teenage Pavarotti. You rose to stardom through Britain's Got Talent. Your first album went straight in at #1 in the classical charts. It's just a pleasure to have you here. How are you doing?
Well, hey, I'm great. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
So how is life now then? What's new in terms of what you're up to at the moment? I know we're going to very much talking about the new album, Album of the Week, which is just fantastic. Are you excited about it?
I'm incredibly excited, and to answer the initial question, life's going pretty good. I'm incredibly excited about this album. It's been 2 years since I put out my first solo album, Tenore, and in those 2 years, the growth of me as an artist and my voice itself has been exponential, and I am super excited to finally have people hear down on record the progression, the story, and the journey that I've been through these past 2 years that it's been.
And the 2 years that you have been on this journey, did you realise that your voice could be improved, I suppose? Because when you came on and your last album did so well, we thought, wow, that's perfection.
Yes.
And you're telling us you perfected even more.
Well, thank you very much. I think that every musician, and in fact everyone who does anything and loves doing anything, can always improve and seek new horizons and new viewpoints through which to view their art or their craft or whatever they do.
Something I wanted to talk to you about just for a moment, Jonathan. I know the title of the new album is Believe, and I love watching Britain's Got Talent with my niece and nephew. It's a real family show, and I think what was so unique with yourself was the fact that, a lot of people started believing that actually, firstly, you can do that type of music, classical music. It's fair to say you made it cool, and, you did open it up to the younger audiences. How do you feel about that?
I'm not quite sure if I made it cool, but perhaps more accessible. I mean, I'm just a guy who happens to really enjoy singing, and I got into classical and sort of musical theatre through high school, and it's really great to see people of more my age and even younger opening up to broader horizons, to classical music, to all kinds of different music.
Who was at home who would put on the classical album, and who influenced you from the house?
In all honesty, there's not a lot of classical influence in my household.
Okay,
it's strange. It's strange, right? I'm this anomaly. No one in my household sings either, or plays an instrument. I'm this strange anomaly that came out of nowhere.
So tell us, what music were you exposed to when you were younger? Because everyone says that music is a soundtrack to their life, right? So there's a certain song that will take you back to a certain place, a certain smells as well. But music always holds that universal kind of a memory bank for more than one person. So, for example, if I was telling you Will Smith's Summertime, for example, I can tell you exactly what I was doing when and there's 100 other people who would be able to relate to that.
Oh man, it's a tough question. It's been a very long time. I mean, there was a lot of the sort of pop of the day, I suppose.
Right.
Adam Rickett, I remember.
Nice.
Very distinctly. My dad's favourite artist is Luther Vandross.
Oh, he's got good taste, my friend. He's got good taste.
My mum loves Queen as well. I've quite a broad, varied spectrum of music from way back to at the time contemporary.
Yeah.
Now, our guest for afternoon tea today is Jonathan Antoine. You remember him as the young opera singer from Britain's Got Talent in 2012. Well, we were talking to him earlier on about the musical career and also his home influences as a child. So we're going to pick up from his parents.
When you started doing your music and you started bringing that into the home, were they like, okay, that'll do for about half an hour, and so we can go back? Or was it like, oh, this is interesting? How did they take to your, to your love of music and what you liked?
It was definitely more of oh, that's interesting. It was, yeah, somewhere in between the two, I'd say. But yeah, they, in all honesty, I had incredible support from the very beginning. I
Nice.
had the support of my family essentially telling me, this is your life. You can do whatever you want. Just keep your mind open and make sure you don't, put all your eggs in one basket, because who knows, in the music industry, it's insane.
Wow. And so tell us about this new album. So how did the music come together for you over the last 2 years? How did you pick the songs that finally made it onto the album?
Well, a lot of these songs are songs that I've been singing for the majority of my life. I mean, Bring Him Home, which is one of the lead tracks on the album. I've been singing it since I was 14, so a third of my life has gone by since I've learned this song. So it was really down to committing these things that I love, these treasured memories, down onto a disc forever. And when it all came down to it, the initial meeting, we just sat down in a restaurant with Chris, the one of the producers of the album, and we spitballed a couple of tracks, and by the end of that, we had the track listing.
Looking at the track listing, there's another one I would like to talk about, which for me, you're talking about those songs that you've grown up with or are part of your childhood. Ave Maria is one that, for myself is very poignant. It takes me back to a time in my life growing up when we used to sing it in school and used to really love that song. Do you have any specific memories or connection with Ave Maria?
Yeah, actually, this might actually be the only song I've been singing longer than Bring Him Home. So yeah, it has an incredible amount of meaning to me. A lot of people use it for a lot of different reasons, and
Yes.
I've been asked to sing it for a lot of different reasons. And it was, in fact, one of the very first songs I ever got paid to sing.
Amazing.
Many years ago now, it feels. But yeah, it's a very special song to me, and a lot of people really enjoy me singing it, and I love singing it. It's both reserved and regal almost, but it's just so emotional. You can pour everything into it.
I completely agree with you. That's why, for myself, that's the one that really did stand
Yeah.
out for me as the one that I really, really like. Let's talk about the album then, in terms of it's something that a lot of people, your fans, have been looking forward for, as you say, it's been 2 years since the last one. Are you going to be heading out across the country touring with it, or is it, what's the next step with the album?
Yes, indeed. I mean, I'll be in and around the country. There's no specific tour planned quite yet, but more watch this space, I suppose, is the appropriate phrase.
I like that.
Yeah,
Watch this space. But
there's a release show on August 19th, which is at Gawsworth Hall. It's an outdoor show. It's going to be just really lovely and really relaxed and calm, and anyone who wants to come down, feel free.
Let's talk a moment, if we can, for how do you ever have those moments where you have to pinch yourself in comparison to where you were, stood on that stage, Britain's Got Talent, and how many years forward where you are now? Do you ever look back at that and think, wow, it was groundbreaking for you?
Yeah, I mean, every day is a pinch me moment. It's very strange, knowing that without all of this strange serendipity and everything coming together just as it should have, I wouldn't be here talking to you, and I may not be here whatsoever. It's a scary and very, very weird thought, but it's true. I was in a terrible place prior to the show, and now I feel not like a different person, but just like a happier, better version of myself.
It just sounds that you are in your element right now. And if you was to advise anyone to follow their dream like you did, is that platform still the best place to go? Or do you think that the social media is so strong now that you can actually start putting out music online?
I think that both are incredibly valid methods, but it is 99.9% about luck.
Right.
And that is I suppose the unfortunate thing about the music industry, to break into it and to actually be able to make a living and do music as your livelihood it's next to impossible, but with persistence, with giving yourself enough chances at this lucky strike, I think it's entirely viable for anyone. I think that, yeah, with enough determination, anyone could break into this business.
I think that's beautifully said. Just
Exactly.
finally, Jonathan, what would you like to say to the fans that have kind of followed you right through from having seen you, for the first time on their TV screens at home as they were watching you on Britain's Got Talent, to now obviously releasing the second album on the 19th of August? What would you like to say to them? Because they've really been a part of the whole journey, haven't they?
They have. We've built this community through these 4 years, and they all know who they are, and those who are listening, you know how I feel about all of you, and you give me purpose. You are, without the people buying this thing and supporting me and just sending all of this love, all this positivity, I wouldn't be able to do this. So thank you.
Oh, well, Jonathan, thank you so much for catching
Jonathan.
up with Sonny and I.
Thank you.
Just finally, what song is it that you'd like us to play from the album? Because we're going to be playing a track, so I'd like for you to choose.
Let's go. I'm debating between Ave Maria and Bring Him Home now.
Which one would you like?
I think Bring Him Home.
Bring
Okay,
him
then.
home. Bring it
That's
home.
what we'll
it
do.
is. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank you,
You take
so
it, Jonathan.
much. Thank you for your time.
You take care. Bye.
You take care. Thank you.